Welcome back to the match. We're going to go across to the Santiago Bernabeu in a moment's time. We saw the celebrations start early on. They started at the regional government hall. They made their way down to Cibeles to the town city hall. And now they've just about arrived here at the Santiago Bernabeu. Now, there's still a few empty seats, and that's because we were talking about this earlier. But some of the fans are still outside waiting for the bus to arrive at the Santiago Bernabeu before taking their seats. There's concert, there's music. Light display too. It really is a spectacular atmosphere at the Santiago Bernabeu. If the hottest ticket in Madrid last night was the game, 78,000 fans, I think the hottest ticket tonight is definitely here too. There we see Mickey Nadal. Now, he's a bit of a showman, an actor. He's definitely got a huge presence in the Latin American Spanish-speaking world. And he was there at half-time when Real Madrid were trailing yesterday, trying to get behind the fans. There was a Mexican wave, there was cheering, there was yes, 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 we can, sí, 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 podemos. And then, of course, he was dancing away and he's back again celebrating.
He's possibly one of the men in Madrid who've talked more than you have, Eric, over the last 24 hours. He was on the pitch, and I mean,
does he talk sense though?
Well, it's very difficult to communicate with a microphone to 80,000 people, but you know, he's got quite a simple message, isn't he? Which is, you know, we've won La Décima.
But I have to say, he still has a voice, which is impressive, because he was at that microphone up and down during the game, getting behind the fans, after the game, before the game. He's been here for almost two and a half hours, because local time here in Spain, it's now 10:35. So the winner of our internal bet isn't myself, it isn't Dermot Ledwith, it's Dermot Corrigan, who said there'd be at least an hour delay, and we'll be with the players soon at 10:30, 10:45. Now, we're not going to bring you any secrets. We're going to let you enjoy the spectacle at the Santiago Bernabeu, but we have been told it's a one-off.
A one-off is the only clue that we're going to get?
Yeah.
We've not been told.
We've not been told. The mind boggles. I mean, it's a one-off because it's the first time any club has won 10 European Cups. In that sense, it's a one-off, but...
it wasn't the best of clues, I have to say. I'll give you a bit more information in a second, but we're seeing the players come down the ramp. It's just past gate 55, the club shop. You can see the bus at the top of here. There's Gareth Bale, Sergio Ramos. They're making their way into the stadium, and then they'll be making their way into the centre of the Santiago Bernabeu pitch.
And, you know, they made a similar enough journey for every home game. You know, that's where they go in. That's how they start to get ready for the game. An hour or so before the game, they come in. Slightly different today. You know, they've gone in, well, it must be 30 times at least this season they've come in to play games. League games, Copa del Rey games, we've been in there for the Champions League games earlier on in the season. And it's kind of what we've been saying earlier on, all the work that the players have put in through the season, from pre-season in America last year. It's almost, you know, it's 11 months or almost 11 months that they've been on the go. And it was all really leading up to last night and then to tonight's celebration. For them, it must be great, you know. Maybe going to meet the local politicians, if you're Gareth Bale and you're sitting there, you're not exactly following 100% what's going on. But to feel the support that they have from the fans is I think, that the main thing. And they see the guys who are there to support them in the club and who want to be part of what is, you know, it is a unique occasion. We're still wondering, you know, what it is that you were hinting at there, Eric. We're going to have to see what it is that happens when they come out onto the pitch. But it's, you know, to be part of such a thing, even for us here to be part of a night like this is pretty special. The Bernabeu is the best place in the world to have this. I was at the party a couple of years ago when won La Liga, and it was Placido Domingo sang from the middle of the pitch, which took place after a game because they'd won they were able to set it up because they'd won the league a season or a week early. It was a game against Malaga, which Madrid won, and then they had a presentation ceremony on the pitch. That was pretty special that night, but I can see it's pretty clear from what's going on there that this is a much bigger occasion than a league win. To win La Décima is just about as big as it gets in club football, and that's why it's such a big party tonight.
And I think we're going to hear the atmosphere just build up and get bigger and bigger. Mickey Nadal's doing a good job there as the warm-up guy, but you know, the DJ now is putting Madrid songs on, and you can see the people are dancing there and enjoying themselves.
Now, we saw celebrations similar to this, I believe, when Real Madrid won the league title against Mallorca on the final day of the campaign. A few years back, they were trailing by 1-0. Reyes, a former Seville Atletico Madrid player, scored in that, and Mamadou Diarra too scored in that 3-1 triumph to clinch the league title on that final day of the season. There were celebrations similar to this. We also saw celebrations when they won the league title, but this is La Décima. And in all fairness, looking, and we spoke about this earlier, the record of the rest of the clubs, I can't see a club really, maybe AC Milan, are the only real challengers, but yet, if you look at the AC Milan squad today, and for the next few years, they're not playing European competition next season, they're still some way off. And who's to say, and who will bet against Real Madrid not winning more titles?
Yeah, it's a little bit, and Florentino talked about this last night as well, how some teams come and go. You know, Manchester United get Alex Ferguson comes in as coach, and a club who's been drifting along for a long time has their period at the top of the game. With Milan as well, you know, in the 1980s when Berlusconi took over, and they had a huge lift under Arrigo Sacchi and Capello, those coaches, but they've had a dip off as well in recent years and they're not even in the competition next year. The clubs who maybe will be the closest rivals for next season could be like Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain, who've got huge investment from overseas. You know, they've had people who've come in and put €1 billion or whatever it is into the club, whereas Madrid are always there or thereabouts. You know, they have this, the club is so big and they've so many fans around the world, and the institution is so big, the marketing work that's put in is so good that they're able to generate the money to stay at the top of the league. You know, they pay the salaries to Cristiano Ronaldo and Gareth Bale and these guys. You know, it's not a case that it comes cheap or whatever, but the club is so big it's able to generate the money to stay at that level. So, you know, Madrid will be one of the favourites next season for the trophy, maybe with Bayern Munich as well, but you know, I wouldn't bet against us being back here again in 12 months' time.
And we're at Atletico Madrid, just a quick mention, was this really their chance? Has it gone?
You would think so, but Diego Simeone, being the character that he is, and he actually said it in the press conference last night that he'll be back in on Monday. You know, he's not partying tonight. Tomorrow he's going to have a meeting with directors at his club to plot the future. And what he said was very interesting, which was to basically find a way to retain the Spanish league that he's won this year. Atletico Madrid have had a fantastic season in the league to win it, but also even bigger feat was to get to their first European Cup final in 40 years, and you know, who's to say that he won't be there again next year, battling away on those two fronts. But it's a bigger ask than it is for Real Madrid, actually. Just going back to what Dermot was saying before as well about Real Madrid and how it's become how it's almost omnipresent there at the top of world football as well. I've been here long enough now in Spain and living in Madrid to remember the first European Cup of modern time, 1997, when 97-98 season, when Mijatovic scored the winning goal in Amsterdam. And I think that was really the catalyst then of the modern club that it is today. In those days, and this was before perhaps the modern financial era of football and marketing became such a key component of European football. At that time, 1997-98, I remember that really Madrid's commercial operations was a corner of the Bernabéu. It was a club shop selling scarves and hats and not much else really. And that is only, we're talking only 16, 17, 18 years ago. I think those wave of 3 European Cups that they won within 6 years of each other, 5 years of each other, was a major catalyst to what Florentino Perez has done and build the club into not just the most successful club on the pitch, but also off the pitch with regards to revenue, and that obviously counts when signing players and when being able to buy someone like Gareth Bale like he did last summer.
Wasn't there a list published by Forbes?
Yeah.
Had Real Madrid top above, for example, the New York Yankees, a baseball side, and also Miami Heat, for example, a basketball team in the States.
Yeah, it sounds crazy because, you know, Spanish economy has not been too good over the last couple of years, but Madrid, it's able to get right outside that. Real Madrid as a club is a global brand. It's one of the biggest global sporting brands in the world, and it's bigger than any of the football clubs, bigger than Manchester United, bigger than Barcelona, Milan, Bayern Munich, all these clubs. It's bigger than them. It's bigger than the biggest the LA Lakers or the New York Giants or whoever in American football as well, or the New York Yankees in basketball. It's the biggest sporting institution, the biggest sporting club in the world in terms of the money it can bring in, and that's because of the work that has been done, just on what Dermot has said there, just on growing the club as a brand. We talk a lot about tactics and things like that on the show, but as well as that, a lot of the work that goes on behind the scenes, which Florentino Perez would have been a key figure in putting into place the marketing power and the marketing drive that the club has now. But it is important to have that. I think it's over 500 million euros that the club brings in, which is more than any other sporting institution. That enables you to go, to sign Ronaldo, to sign Bale, and to keep having success on the pitch.
And would you say this is the biggest international brand around?
I think it is. It has to be, and it's interesting also that there are certain league tables published, and Forbes, you mentioned the Forbes table that's published. There's another one published by Deloitte in London, which ranks the European football clubs, because the main football clubs in the world are European, and Real Madrid in recent years has always come out on the top of that, ahead of Barcelona, who actually have moved up a number of places to become the main challenger, the second one, and Manchester United are probably the third one at the moment. But it's not just comparing the football clubs together. It's what Dermot was saying as well. They're in the world of sport, and also not just sport now, but sport is considered to be the world of sport and entertainment, and Real Madrid could be considered perhaps the most powerful brand in that fairly large sector, which you could even start to consider things like Walt Disney or MTV.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I just sorry to cut across there, but I remember reading in a book about David Beckham that when Beckham played a big role when Beckham was signed as the Galactico. That played a big role in pushing the size of the club's brand and the commercial value and stuff like that as well. And they talked about how being at Manchester United was almost like being a big Hollywood studio, that you're putting together. You have your main actors, and you have your scenario, and you have the script. You can't write the script for what happens, but a game like last night is just the happiest ending for the season.
Well, it's about to kick off now. It's quite a phrase. The players will be taking to the pitch. As you can hear, the hymn.
Sung by Placido Domingo, famous Spanish opera singer.
The three tenors, Pavarotti, Carreras, and Placido Domingo.
Great goalkeeper as well.
Was it on the books? Yeah, he was on the books. Wow. Almost like a concert. These aren't actually lighters, they're mobile phones. Everybody waiting for this special commemoration of that 10th Champions League title to start. No doubt as soon as the hymn comes to an end, the event will start. The noise there going through the roof at the Santiago Bernabéu. There's not a power issue there. The lights are off on purpose during the hymn, and now the show kicks off in earnest. There's the pitch lit up. We saw that last night, Dermot. We were there. And in the centre is a light sound extravaganza that we're going to broadcast live around the world. seeing years of Real Madrid's title triumphs, starting with the first ever Champions League, and in 2014, the 10th Champions League crown.
Mickey Nadal there, I think, still presenting to the fans. To all Madrid fans. How much you've been able to support the club and how much passion you've been able to show for Real Madrid. And now we have to say goodbye to someone, something. We have to say goodbye to one of our favourite songs.
One that Dermot pointed out, number 9, Novena vez, the 9th time.
Now, at last, we can talk about the 10th. Fantastic, the Bernabéu, fantastic. Now, we have a surprise for all Madrid fans, so we can celebrate this dream that has finally arrived. And this is a present for everyone here. From one of the...
Now, I believe this is that song to commemorate the 10th Champions League title.
Yeah, Grammy winning centre red one. I think his name is, who's good friends with some of the members of the squad when they put together this song.
Well, moving, breathtaking. The song by the Real Madrid squad. I'm sure we'll be hearing the supporters sing that during games. As Mickey Nadal continues with the ceremony here live at the Santiago Bernabéu.
Sino que se lo pregunten a los héroes de nuestras Copas de Europa, que ya son 10 y que merecen que las enumeremos. Contad conmigo. La primera.
The first Champions League title, the second. Now running around the Santiago Bernabéu. Yes, yes, yes. The 10th, our 10th, has arrived. On the bottom of your screen, that shot of the Real Madrid players. The manager who led Real Madrid to the trophy success. The first name read out. This is better than the red carpet you get at Cannes or Hollywood, the Oscars.
It's a moment to walk out there in front of this stadium, the way it's being presented tonight.
Zidane, who has won this title as a player and has won this title as part of a very successful coaching team alongside Carlo Ancelotti. He wanted to have alongside him somebody who knew the club from the inside.
Yeah, having that type of experience, you know, a guy who's won the World Cup with France, won the Champions League with Madrid, won pretty much everything there is in the game, Ballon d'Or winner as well. And to be able for players like Benzema or like Morata or Modric or Gareth Bale, these guys to have Zidane come over to them and offer them advice, for Zidane to rate them, for them to know that Zidane thinks that they are up to winning the Champions League with Madrid is a huge boost for them.
And the man of confidence for Carlo Ancelotti, Paul Clement.
And Franz Ferdinand, he gets his English band as he comes out.
Scottish.
British.
Well, British. Actually, I won't go into it. The lead singer of Franz Ferdinand is from very close to Bob Paisley. But anyhow, Paul Clement, amazing moment for him, for someone who, as we mentioned earlier, didn't make it in as a professional footballer, didn't have a great career as a professional footballer. To be out on this, to be in this stadium tonight, it must be an amazing dream for him.
Diego Lopez, a goalkeeper, a product of Real Madrid's youth academy from Lugo in Galicia. He had to go elsewhere to make a name for himself. Very good at Villarreal. He was at Seville, was not first choice, was plucked by Real Madrid to come back. And he's been outstanding, key role in the league for the Whites. And Mendy, what an amazing first season too. It's tough really to try and step into the shoes of somebody like Xabi Alonso, who of course has played in the Premier League, has plenty of experience, but still one for the present and definitely one for the future.
He'll have time to develop as a player and step into Xabi Alonso's shoes, as you say.
Isco, a magician, according to Mickey Nadal, plucked from Malaga, led the Andalusian side to the semi-finals of the Champions League. What a great player Isco is. Here we see Yaramendi, joined by another former under-21 international, Isco. Man of the match in the Champions League final, Angel Di Maria.
And really one of the first great decisions that Carlo Ancelotti made this year was to perhaps choose. He had a little decision to make between Angel Di Maria or Mesut Ozil. And I think that's paid off now with that award, winning the man of the match on Saturday night.
Alvarado, a player who played at Deportivo, played for Liverpool. I'm sorry, it's actually Alvaro Morata. Sorry, I only heard Alvaro. It's Alvaro Morata, who hasn't played for Liverpool, hasn't yet to play for Deportivo La Coruña. He won't be loaned out next season if Depor do win promotion to the top flight. He's a local boy. He actually started his career at Atletico Madrid, so you never know, he might follow in the footsteps of Raúl González-Blanco.
Yeah, and Morata came on last night and played 20 minutes in normal time and the 30 minutes of extra time. And he's been on the fringes maybe earlier on the season. Jose had overtaken him as the backup, the young guy who's coming in to the team. He played a key role last night in the game.
Morata, excellent goal per game ratio to another product of Real Madrid's exciting, promising youth academy, Jose Rodriguez from Las Palmas in Gran Canaria, the sunny Canary Islands. Now, he's fighting his way back from injury. He's going to be back before the end of the year. Now let's look at Modric's haircut.
Big change from last night, with his floppy fringe being taken off, and there you go. For anyone who wants to lose 10 or 15 years from their appearance, Luka Modric is.
He looks a lot younger and a lot better, more streamlined. We had to run faster.
My prediction for next season is that Modric will have his hair back. When the teams are back starting off the season in August, it will have started to grow back.
Nacho, versatile defender, can play right back, centre back and full back. He was the former Castilla captain. He helped the team to promotion to the second tier of Spanish football, then was promoted to the first. He made his debut at Mestalla in a 6-3 win, Real Madrid defeating Valencia 2 seasons back. Another youth team player. Now this isn't Morata, this is definitely Alvaro Arbeloa. And yes, he did play for Liverpool, yes, he did play for Deportivo. And just like a few other players before him, the way they've brought these players back, if they're successful elsewhere, it's not the end of the world. If you can't make it into Real Madrid's first team, you have to apply a trade, maybe at Bayer Leverkusen, maybe at Liverpool, and then you get recalled.
Yeah, it is so hard. You know, you've seen that with Yaramendi maybe. It's so hard to come from as a young player and make your way into the first team and become a first team regular at Madrid if you don't have that type of experience. And it's been great, you know, for Arbeloa. And only for that injury, maybe it might have been Arbeloa who started last night, but because of his knee injury, he wasn't really able to come in. Casemiro as well here, you know, that game against Dortmund, we go back to it a good few times, but when he came on in the second half, Madrid were needed to take control of the game at that point. They were 3-2 up on aggregate, but it was looking dicey enough, and Casemiro played a huge role in making sure they got through that game, even if he didn't play last night.
Casemiro, who was signed from Santos, originally for Castilla, impressed so much, he was promoted to the first team. Huge cheer, what a great reception for Dani Carvajal.
It's been a great season for Carvajal, and I'm sure he will be one of the youngsters at Madrid who will have a great future for many years to come. He's already been loaned out to the Bundesliga and come back. It's a similar model to players like Eric mentioned, Alvaro Arbeloa. And now I think he can consider himself as an important part of that first team picture.
Yeah, future Madrid captain, I'd say, Dani Carvajal. If he continues to progress the way he's done this season, I think he'll be, you know, future captain and will win a lot more trophies with Madrid.
Well, Sami Khedira Lyon soon, Xabi Alonso, number 14. Now, missed out on the Champions League final, but I have to say, he almost played. He was on the pitch, up and down, shouting instructions to the players. He's always been the manager's extension, really, out on the playing field. Maybe a future manager.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And it was unfortunate for him to miss the game because he's been one of the key players. His return last October or so, when Alonso came back into the team, marked the time when Madrid really got together. They got their best team and started to win games. So it was a pity he missed out, but I don't think he's going to be too disappointed now.
He's the third goalkeeper, Jesus. Hasn't had a chance, obviously, behind the two world-class goalkeepers in front of him.
It is tough for Jesus because, you know, we don't really get to see what he can do because he's got two such good players to keeping him out of the first team picture.
Well, scored a goal in the final.
And Marcelo there, who we talked about before, came on and put such an important performance in the final last night and scored the third goal that really finished Atletico Madrid off.
And for a party, Marcelo's one of the Madrid players that you'd want to have at your party or you'd want to invite along. I'd say he's going to be really enjoying himself tonight.
Well, what an introduction. A player who's already a great, has several pages in Real Madrid's history, reserved for a certain Gareth Bale, and he's been here less than 12 months.
Yeah, I don't think any player, even Cristiano Ronaldo in his first season at Madrid, or Zinedine Zidane in his first season at Madrid, they didn't have the impact that Bale has had to score two such key goals, the winner in the Copa final, then the goal to go 2-1 last night. You know, you're talking about the very, very highest impact that any player has made in the modern era of Madrid in their first season, which is pretty amazing, really.
And what a goal that was in the Spanish Cup final. Will be remembered for many years to come.
And Karim Benzema, it's not just about goals, and that's the point raised by Carlo Ancelotti throughout the season. It's his work rate. It's how he drops back to help out his teammates.
Yeah, he's such an intelligent player, and that goes back a little bit to what we're saying about whether they sign, you know, a new forward or whoever in the summer. I think Benzema, it's been by far his best season. He's maybe benefited from not having Higuain there because it was always one or the other. He was the main man this year, and Madrid benefited from that, and he did as well.
Now, the best player in the world, a Real Madrid footballer, 17 goals in the Champions League, over 50 goals in all competitions.
And Ronaldo, you know, it is kind of his moment. He's been here, this is his fifth season at the club, and he really wanted the Champions League at Madrid. For Ronaldo to have been to have done so much, you know, he scored 40 goals in each of those seasons. For him not to have won a Champions League would have been a huge pity.
And he's really enjoying the applause and the love of the Santiago Bernabéu there.
And now, Sami Khedira, speedy return, German, November 16th, stretched it off against Italy, and friendly international friendly playing for Germany. And some said he might make it back for a few minutes here and there. Started the Champions League final.
Really professional guy, Khedira. Of all the players in the squad, he's the one who you'd say will be the guy who's going to work the hardest to get back from the injury. And you know, he put in so many work. We saw him in Malta, and he was all over Europe making sure he came back as quickly as possible. And then he played such a big role in the final yesterday.
Fabio Contral got another head of Marcelo in the Champions League final. Started off as second choice. Is it fair to say it's now level pegging between Marcelo and Contral?
He's really come back as a player in this season. As you say, he wasn't first choice to begin with. He's shown that he has got defensive qualities that are needed in games such as that one last night. And I do feel that it was a very strategic, tactical decision by Ancelotti to start him against Atletico Madrid.
The goal hero, many people's man of the match, Sergio Ramos, paying homage to Santiago Bernabéu faithful now, if I'm not mistaken, and I can do my maths, I believe there's one player who's yet to be presented, unveiled in front of the fans here, and that's the captain, and no doubt will be raising aloft the Champions League. Our leader. Our captain. Oh no, it's actually Pepe. Oh, I've got to go back and do elementary mathematics, I believe.
How can you forget Pepe as well, you know?
And you can see, you know, the players. Pepe wouldn't be the most demonstrative of players maybe off the pitch. He's a quiet guy who doesn't talk very much, but even he is really enjoying the event tonight and getting the most out of it, which he deserves.
Rafael Varane. I'm going to resit my maths exam, I think. Rafael Varane, who started. Obviously, Pepe was injured for the final. Came in, did a sterling job out the back, didn't put a foot wrong, and looks like he could be in that France squad for the World Cup.
Yeah, and in the Madrid team for 10, 15 years to come with him and Carvajal and Isco and these guys. I keep saying it, but these guys could go on and win a lot more trophies for Real Madrid if they can keep all those young players together. To be the best team in Europe already and to have guys who can improve so much is a lot of potential there.
Captain, third Champions League title.
And at some stage, I think we're going to see Iker with that cup in his hands again.
Iker Casillas played in the Cups this season. The Copa del Rey, Real Madrid worthy winners, beating Barcelona. That momentous Gareth Bale goal, the difference between the two teams. And then, of course, between the sticks for the Champions League.
Some of the players flagging there, sitting down. It's been a tiring 24 hours.
Well, they haven't stopped. You got to look at the season as a whole. You have that emotional come down, that psychological come down. And for some of these players, it's up with your national teams and preparing the World Cup. They will get a holiday probably at the end of the World Cup. It depends obviously when your team gets knocked out.
Yeah, the Spanish teams, I'm not sure about all the countries, but the Spanish players who are from Madrid and from Atletico don't have to play the friendly that Spain have coming up on Friday, but they're flying out to America on Monday or Tuesday early next week, so they have a few days off maybe until the weekend, then they have to join up with their national teams, and then they're away for Spanish players, especially Benzema there with France, Di Maria with Argentina. These are teams who are likely to go very, very deep into the tournament. Wouldn't be a surprise at all if they're still playing the semi-final, final stages, so they still have another 6-7 weeks of work to go. But we say work, but it's got to be fun for them. They've got to be looking forward to the World Cup. And when a team wins like this in club football, you can carry that on. The momentum that you have, you can carry it into the World Cup finals. So if you're from a country that has a Madrid player in your country's team, then it's a good sign going ahead to Brazil.
These are live images from the Santiago Bernabéu, where the players arrived around half an hour ago. We saw an introduction with the 10 Champions League title triumphs each year, with a star each trophy, and now the 10th. That will take pride of place in the Santiago Bernabéu Museum. Raised aloft by club captains Sergio Ramos and Iker Casillas. to lift the Champions League. You see the bond, the unity in this squad. And really, we have to thank Carlo Ancelotti. Superb job at the helm of Real Madrid. Alongside his coaching staff, we've seen Paul Clement, Zinedine Zidane, also the people who work behind the scenes, the doctors, the physios, the goalkeeping coach. It has been a team effort because really, if you look at the Champions League campaign, he's used the entire squad to get to the final. And also, they had to get rid of that German hoodoo.
Yeah, and as we were saying there as the players come back, you know, Jesus Fernandez, the third choice keeper, is the only guy who hasn't played a really big role this season. You know, people like Nacho and Casemiro have come into the team and started important games, especially with Nacho played a lot of games in La Liga, and they've all played a really big role. So it's not a case that it's a squad where you're carrying players through who are not up to the standard required. All of the players there have played a really big role. All the players there are top quality players. You know, Nacho is the fourth choice fullback or centre half, played for Spain this season. So it's just the standard of players as they're going up there really is fantastic.
And now the fireworks begin and the party really gets underway. And what a fantastic sight that would be. You'd be able to see that from possibly all over Madrid. And when they put a firework display on, the Spanish really do go to town and make it as spectacular as possible.
The noise is just incredible. Like, you know, I'm sure if you're inside the stadium there, it's the crackers is pretty special.
Well, we're not going to go across to Phil because we won't be able to hear Phil. The noise there is electric, and rightly so. And this is a party that started in the final whistle, probably just before the final whistle. I think it was that third goal, that Marcelo strike. Obviously, there was the relief, the equaliser, there was the joy. They took the lead, and then, of course, that third goal was when the Real Madrid players knew that, yes, this is ours.
Yes, most definitely, and they've been celebrating ever since. And it will go on for a number of days.
You can see Ronaldo there.
I think he's laughing because I think Contrao's strong enough to raise a lot of trophy.
I think he's too tired. Some jokes, I think, Contrao, but you know, he's played an amazing role in the club this season. And Contrao and Ronaldo will be really good mates. You know, they're around the same age, they're from similar backgrounds in Portugal, and Contrao plays an important role with Ronaldo in. You know, day to day they travel to the games together, and they're pretty close as friends.
We're going to get a close up of Luka Modric's haircut. Well, I did make a promise that I'll cut my hair if we won the Champions League title, so here I am.
Looks a little bit like Guti, the famous past player of Madrid.
Casillas welcoming fans here at the Bernabéu. We're kings again of Europe. They're not allowing him to speak. And today we dedicate the 10th Champions League title to you, our supporters.
I think he's looking for someone to pass the buck to there, and he's found Sergio Ramos.
Ramos very shy, doesn't really like to be the centre of attention at all.
Well, I'm delighted. I'm glad I helped with my goal. Hopefully I can be here for many years to come. And you, the fans, you're in my heart. It's a dream come true. It took a lot of work, a lot of hard work. I want to thank my teammates too. All of you, everybody's helped in achieving this Champions League. You will help that little push, that final push, to help us across the finishing line. I dedicate this to all the Real Madrid fans, to my family and friends. And also to Florentino Perez's deceased wife too, Martina. A very moving tribute by the captain, Sergio Ramos. He won the most important title. A title that means so much to this club. 1, 2, 3, Real Madrid. Well, if you remember when Ronaldo signed for Real Madrid, he was unveiled here at a packed Santiago Bernabéu. It was a repeat of that moment. 1, 2, 3, Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think Ronaldo's such a perfect fit with Madrid, with the Bernabeu. You know, he's the highest profile footballer in the world. He's the Ballon d'Or holder. He's the best player in the world last year. And for him to be at Madrid just seems to fit.
Now it's a turn of...
Whereas perhaps
Carlo
Ancelotti in some degrees doesn't fit, but he has become such a perfect fit for the club.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is Carlo
Ancelotti, wow. You know what? He could give up his day job.
This is pretty special.
That is some karaoke performance from Carlo Ancelotti there in a packed stadium.
It's such a special moment just to hear him singing like that. I think it's just
If you've just joined us, we're at the celebrations at the Santiago Bernabéu live. Carlo Ancelotti is singing the new anthem for Real Madrid, sung alongside the players in tribute of this 10th Champions League title.
It's even better, but just as you're saying there, he's such a quiet guy to do that. It's just cool.
Now it's the turn of the players to carry the trophy around the stadium, a lap of honour, or maybe even two. And the rest of the coaching staff will join the first team squad, Carlo Ancelotti, Paul Clement and Zinedine Zidane in this lap of honour.
I have to say, there really are amazing scenes from the Santiago Bernabéu, and you couldn't imagine any other club in the world putting together such a performance as this for to say thank you to their fans.
Casillas and Ramos carrying between them the 10th Champions League. You can see Zidane, Clement and Carlo Ancelotti following closely behind, and the rest of the first team squad members and coaching staff. Behind them, 2002 against Bayer Leverkusen at Glasgow. Wonder goal from Zidane. It was 1-1 at the time. Raul González Blanco had opened the scoring in the first half. The German side levelled. One of the most memorable goals in Champions League history. But we've been saying that Ramos' goal will be remembered too, probably as much as those strikes by Teddy Sheringham and also Solskjaer. Manchester United when they clinched that title in dramatic style against Bayern Munich in Barcelona.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see that Ramos goal again and again. And just thinking there when he was talking about the 2 goals he scored in Munich as well, which were also such key goals in that game. He's had such an influence on the team as a defender to come up and to have scored 3 goals in the last 2 games, and 3 such important goals as well, vital goals at moments. It's, as defenders go, or as individual performances go, you know, Ronaldo scored the 17 goals and he has been, you know, Madrid's best player, I guess, in the Champions League through the campaign. But Ramos, over the last couple of weeks, has come out of having haven't had a good season as a defender, but has come out of the last couple of weeks as one of the real key players in Madrid's team.
And that'll be some video for Cristiano Ronaldo to remember tonight by when he looks back on winning the 10th Champions League.
They want to soak up this atmosphere. No doubt the fans too. They want the players to leave the stadium. Thankfully there'll be no more games here. Yeah, the pitches, confetti. Also, last night they were working around the clock to get this ready. They've done an excellent job. It's run smoothly. It started with the regional government in the Puerta del Sol in the centre of Madrid. They made their way to the Ayuntamiento, the City Hall, Town Hall, by Cibeles, then up to Santiago Bernabéu. And the fans still in their seats. Some fans are sat there around this time last night to see Real Madrid defeat Atletico Madrid by 4-1. We were saying how last night the bus inched its way down La Castellana, or the players, rightly so, taking their time in this lap of honour, a chance for the fans to see their heroes, to see the Champions League title. Will be in the Club Museum from Monday. So no doubt there'll be long queues too outside. There always are queues, but especially long ones for the first glimpse of the title won in Lisbon.
I think for the players as well, going through this and the fans, everybody, it's Casillas has won it before as a Madrid player, but for the rest of them, this is their first time to win a Champions League with Madrid, and to have this type of a party, and for a lot of the fans, they're going to want to have that again. They're not going to want to just remember this as the only time that they've won the Champions League with Madrid. If you're Di Maria or you're Diego Lopez there, or even Xabi Alonso, they're going to push on for next season. These type of memories are the memories that they'll want to repeat. and they won't just be happy with just Ledesma. It'll be La Undécima or 12 or 13 or whatever that this team can go on and achieve. And from what Casillas has been saying, what Florentino Perez has been saying, I think that already that they're starting to look forward to that and plan for that next year.
It's interesting to see the players actually. A lot of them have their boots on as well. They've got
looks like they're ready to play.
fully kitted up there for the. All they're lacking is a ball. Have a kick about on the pitch.
Now some children for this second lap of honour will be joining.
That's not a child, that's actually Luka Modric.
He does look so much younger. It really does suit him.
It's interesting where he found a decent barber from on a Sunday in Madrid, because they're all closed today, but he obviously had
it
a plan.
Ronaldo's personal barber, who Ronaldo has on a retainer, who comes and does Ronaldo's hair, who was called up at short notice to do the job.
I wonder if Ronaldo takes a commission out of that, or it goes
pretty
straight,
hard
I don't think he needs a commission, to be honest.
straight to his barber.
I hope nobody paid for that.
With Danny Carvajal.
Danny Carvajal. Well, I mean, the players were saying they were bets, weren't they? Yeah. Sometimes you've seen players dye their hair red. I remember once seen a Romanian side at a World Cup, all having their head dyed red.
Yeah.
Some players shave their hair off, some dye their beard. Wow. I must say, there must be lots of noise, really, for little Martin.
Very safe hands, though, for the baby.
I was going to say, yeah.
Casillas.
Casillas with his son. Also, Sergio Ramos his partner gave birth to a child not too long ago, but obviously I think very small to bring into the Santiago Bernabéu.
But considering how Ramos has come on, Bale's daughter as well, I think. But considering how Ramos has played since he's become a father, you'd kind of be hoping that, from Madrid's point of view, that he has many more kids, because if this is the reaction that he has when he has a new son or a new daughter, then it's something that you'd think you'd want to repeat.
How cute is that? That's something we've seen in the last few years. Children joining in the celebrations of the Champions League, in the photos. It's quite recent, isn't it?
Yes, certainly. Yeah, it is. It's quite a surprise to see them out there at 11:30 at night. I don't know how scary that would be for a little baby, but they seem to be in good hands there and enjoying themselves. But it's great to see, and it kind of helps to embellish the image of the club as a family and as a family institution.
And how many of these children might follow in the footsteps of their father?
I think the fans like to see it as well, because we get to know the players. If somebody like Sergio Ramos or Iker Casillas, as well as being football players, they're kind of national figures, and we read about their personal lives in the papers, and we see they have partners who are also very successful in their own right. So as well as being professional footballers, they are kind of leading figures, global figures that people know about their families, and the fans, I think, like to see who the children are, who the partners are, and it all adds to what is part of Madrid's image, and also as part of just what you get out of being a Madrid fan.
Carlo Ancelotti with the cup that he knows so well.
Yeah, does he get to keep it if you win it 5 times?
If you get to win it 5 times, it's yours.
You bring it home and put it on the mantelpiece in Casa Ancelotti.
Party atmosphere at the Santiago Bernabéu. You saw with us live celebrations from the final whistle, both Lisbon. We saw inside the team dressing room. We saw on the bus, on the plane, back in Madrid at Cibeles. Also before that at the stadium when those goals went in. All four. And now we even get a conga.
Led, of course, by Sergio Ramos.
Well, it is a bit chilly this evening. It's actually quite chilly down on the pitch.
Angel Di Maria is being told by his better half there to look after the child, wrap her up safe and sound.
Now, everybody ready for a team photo. Doesn't seem too pleased there, Pepe's daughter. Just waiting for Pepe to join in this photo. Chendo too, the team delegate, former player. The whole Real Madrid family. There's Zoe.
They're still waiting for Pepe, I think.
Diego Lopez's daughter. So now, where do Real Madrid go from here?
On holiday.
Some players do, some go to the World Cup. Looking ahead to next season.
I just thinking there, if you are a player there who, maybe Morata or somebody who hasn't played as many games as he wanted to this season, and maybe you're thinking about moving away, this is going to make you think about wanting to stay. You know, what player wants to miss out on occasions like this? And if you're a player at another team who might have an opportunity to go to Madrid or might have an opportunity to go to a different team, whether in Spain or outside Spain, a young player who's coming up in the game who Madrid scouts have identified as somebody who could improve the team, this is the type of occasion that you want to be involved in. You want to be there for a party when you get to win the Champions League. So this as an advert for the club and an advert for the squad and for something that could make the team even better is really positive.
I don't think there are many examples, many players out there tonight whose futures are up in the air, really. I mean, we have mentioned Alvaro Morata, who could go out on loan, but still obviously has a future at the club. There aren't many more examples. There aren't even many players who are retiring or who are too old to continue next season. So it's going to be a pretty stable squad next season.
It's a very young squad.
Very young.
And even the older players, the likes of, say, Xabi Alonso, maybe not playing in all 5 competitions, but still he has plenty to offer the side. Yeah,
and Xabi Alonso, he's the only outfield player who's over 30, maybe Pepe as well, but Pepe didn't play last night, Varane played instead. So you've got all these guys who, you know, Benzema's 26, Marcelo's 26, Cristiano's 29, he's still got a lot of years left in him, Bale is 24, you've got Dani Carvajal at full-back who's only 22, Varane's 21, so, you know, it's an amazing core of players that if you can keep them together, that they've come through, even guys like Di Maria, Khedira, Benzema, who've been at the club 3-4 years, they're still only in their mid-20s, so there is, you know, I would say that whenever you have an occasion like this, what you should do is go out and strengthen the team where you can, try and attract even better players to come to the club, keep the competition for places going. But it's very hard to go and find a player who is actually going to be better, who can come in and be better than the guys that you have, who can add something else. Whether, you know, you're talking about the very top players in world football, and then you don't know whether you want to disrupt the lines that they have in the team they're doing so well. So, yeah, I'd agree that it is it's hard to know. You look at the guys who are available, it's hard to know who you could bring in to make the team even better, but that's for the club to work on.
And this man, Carlo Ancelotti, who will have his own ideas about the future and how to progress and grow and improve that squad, but he's keeping them to himself for the time being, I'm sure. Next week the work will start again and things will be discussed.
I was just going to say, sorry to put across here, Dermot, but when Ancelotti, he 3 or 4 times during the season, he's changed the team around, he's used what he has, so whatever players do come in or whatever players do leave, he'll still be able to meld a proper team together.
Well, the players there still milling around. And we've got Carlo Ancelotti. Play for days like these. We want to make our fans happy. We want to give them something to shout about. This is football. Thank you very much, Carlo. That was Celia Ramirez from our sister Spanish service at the stadium. Carlo Ancelotti has said throughout he wants to offer something back to the fans, and I think there's nothing better than really that coveted, eagerly awaited 10th Champions League.
I thought you were going to say cover or karaoke performance.
I was tempted.
Basically, the last 24 hours that they've given them has been non-stop and packed full of fun and thrills for the Real Madrid fans.
Yeah, and actually his first question, or his first answer in his press conference after the game yesterday, he was asked something along these lines, and he said, why we play football is, it was about, do you feel happy after winning this? And he says, for him and for the players, being happy is being able to share the happiness with the fans. That it sounds a little bit cliched, but they really do play for the fans. And for somebody like Ancelotti, who has, he has won the Champions League before, as we're saying, both as a player and as a coach, but he still gets a real kick out of occasions like this, and seeing how he can make so many people happy, how he can make so many people proud to be part of the club that he's part of as well. And it seems to be a motivation for him. And, again with the singing there, but I thought that was a really nice moment to see Ancelotti singing like that, because he's not none of us here maybe are able to talk about being the best singer around or whatever, and Ancelotti's not, but you can see how he enjoyed being part of that moment, how he enjoyed sharing it with the players and with the fans, and I just got a real kick out of watching it.
And we're saying that the fans are really a strength behind the driving force behind the club.
And there's Jesus there, the third goalkeeper, could even be his grandfather. He's managed to get down on the pitch. What an evening it would be for him if that's who it was.
I believe it was actually been told it is his grandfather who was there by Jesus. So
we've got the youngest and the oldest.
4 generations even here. Fans in their months. Look at Martin Casillas to Jesus' grandfather. Also in the stands, we were speaking to people ahead of the game yesterday, and there were children there who were 10, 11 years old who were born after that success in Glasgow with grandparents. Some people even remembered those titles with Paco Gento back in the 1950s.
And even for Florentino Perez, he's talked a lot about before how he used to go to the games with his father in the 1950s, and he watched Puskas and Gento and Di Stefano and all these players, and that's where he got his love of the club and his love of the sport. And he's now become such a key figure at the club, or one of the biggest figures at Madrid, and really important in driving them on to win this trophy today. So there's guys maybe sitting in the stand at the minute, or even watching the TV at home today, who are going to be inspired with a love of the club, and who might be able to go on and give something back to the club again in the future. It'd be pretty amazing if they give something back on the same level as what Florentino has done. But it's moments like this that inspire kids to get involved in the club, and inspire people to carry on what is the Madrid, the tradition and the strength of the club through the decades.
Well, I think in a second or two we're going to go to Angel Di Maria, who's with our colleague.
Sí, la verdad que sí, es una alegría inmensa haber conseguido la 10ª, haber sufrido tanto durante estos 3 años quedando en semifinales, y este año haber llegado a la final y haber conseguido este título tan deseado por el Real Madrid y por nosotros, que era lo que más queríamos, y bueno, gracias a Dios se consiguió, por nuestra familia, por los que trabajamos día a día, por la gente que está apoyándonos en cada momento, y creo que es
week out, those who are behind us all the time. Thank you for congratulating me on the man of the match performance. But this is an important title for Real Madrid. We heard from Carlo Ancelotti, also now man of the match, Angel Di Maria.
We've settled on that then, have we?
Well, I mean, UEFA's man of the match. We can't really go up against UEFA. So
official.
It's the official man of the match.
If you want to have the unofficial man of the match for Sergio Ramos,
we'll create an unofficial man of the match, and Dermot Croggan, your winner is Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos.
Well, some fans starting to exit the Santiago Bernabeu. It's been long. It's been intense. But before we do sign off, we're with the captain, Iker Casillas.
un nuevo integrante madridista.
Well, it's the latest addition to the Real Madrid family.
Y aquí está el tío animando.
Martin behind the team.
Con su padre 2 y muy feliz y muy contento por ello.
Very happy to be here, the two of us.
Bueno, yo este es mi triplete particular, sobre todo porque para mí es el trofeo más
This to me is a treble. The 2 cups and my son Martin. Ofelia Ramirez is still there by the touchline, looking to get players in Spanish. You might maybe get players too in English with Phil Kitcherides pitch side 2. You can understand now the players would look for their little break, time to switch off, to spend some quality time with their families. And like you said, some players will go away on international duty. Some don't have to turn up for the friendly that Spain have at the end of the week. But quickly, we're now going live to Pepe, the defender who missed out on the final.
Pepe también tiene otra, pero es más pequeña, otro, y esta es mayor. Hola, Pepe.
Hola, buenas noches, sí.
Ha sido el primero, has dicho, me voy primera por la niña, ¿no?
Sí,
Well,
verdad, ¿no?
I wanted to go and get my daughter first.
Ha sido padre, esa niña y la
My
otra,
oldest daughter.
Me ha dado mucha alegría.
And it was amazing to see her
Los días
here.
nunca serán lo mismo y ahora hacer todo lo posible para que ella sea lo más feliz posible, ¿no?
Just want her to be as happy as possible.
¿Cómo?
¿Cómo vivisteis lo de ayer?
What was it like watching yesterday's game from the stands?
Yo sabía la importancia que tenía después de estar aquí 7 años.
After being here for 7 years, I knew how important this final was.
No lo había conseguido, ¿no? Entonces ayer era un día especial para nosotros, teníamos que disfrutar.
Hadn't won the final until last night, and we did everything right. We did what we did throughout the whole season, and we've won that 10th title, which means a huge. So we just cut off there at the end. That was Thilia with Pepe. We might be hearing from some more players too, but just quickly, Real just showed their strength and depth. No Xabi Alonso, no Pepe, yet still better than Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, at the end of a long, hard season, you're not ever gonna get your best 11 out on the team, or what maybe on paper is your strongest 11 out on the pitch. But the way that the team finished, with Isco, we didn't talk very much about the role Isco played when he came off the bench, and he played in midfield with Modric, which wouldn't be the strongest, but they did so well.
Well, now we've got Marcelo, who scored the 3rd goal.
¿Sabe cómo es, no?
No ha parado de disfrutar en la celebración, vosotros también.
No, increíble.
You definitely enjoyed the partying.
El Bernabéu ha estado impresionante.
It was amazing.
La afición merece
The fans deserve
esa energía nuestra.
this energy.
Merece disfrutar.
These celebrations.
Es un momento increíble.
It was a special moment for us.
Sí, no me daba cuenta. Luego después del gol de Bale, que ha sido el segundo,
After Gareth Bale's goal,
no me daba cuenta que estábamos muy cerca de conseguir la
I
décima.
didn't realise how close we were to winning the Champions League title.
Mano encima, es que ahí lloré porque
And when I scored, I just couldn't stop crying.
Un sentimiento muy grande.
My eyes welled up.
Una cosa que llevo dentro.
It was a special
del pecho
feeling.
y Salió
And everything I've held inside came out.
Soy tan alegre también, a veces soy muy
I'm a very happy person, but also sometimes very sentimental.
Siempre que se le dice a todas esas personas que están todo el día ahí, Marcelo.
Sí, es una cosa que agradeciendo
I've got to thank
todos los días queda
all the fans for their support every single day. They're there.
Pues intentamos agradecer dentro del campo,
And
haciendo
when we play, we try and do our
todo el
best.
máximo nuestro y
Try and
ganando
repay
títulos.
their
Y
faith
hoy, gracias a Dios,
with titles,
estamos disfrutando
and
con
today
la
we're
afición,
celebrating alongside our fans
mucha afición fuera también del
and also
Bernabéu,
fans around the world
por supuesto, pero estamos aquí para
this success.
la Copa a ellos.
And we're here to celebrate the Champions League title.
Voy a intentar, voy a buscar bien.
Se ha ido. ¿Estará jugando?
Looking at Marcelo there. Where little Marcelo's running around. See all the players down by the pitch. What a beautiful stadium. And now we can hear from Álvaro Arbeloa, the defender. He fought his way back from injury, saw the game from the sidelines.
La camiseta con dedicatoria especial, mucha gente a la que dedicar esto, ¿no?
Bueno,
You've got to dedicate this to so many people.
sufre mucho con nosotros.
Those who suffer alongside
sobre
us.
todo aquellos que han vivido momentos difíciles que nos han apoyado
We've
en
had some
momentos duros,
tough
porque,
times.
bueno, ahora todo es felicidad, pero
And now it's happiness.
para llegar a conseguir esta Champions,
But to
hemos pasado por
reach
momentos
here,
complicados,
it's a
muchas
tough road.
lesiones, y bueno, hemos tenido mucha gente detrás apoyándonos.
But a lot of
así que
people have
para
been
ellos,
behind us, and
Qué alegría ayer,
We're here.
qué alegría hoy. ¿Qué le pasa a uno por dentro o qué liberación tiene uno cuando ya está?
what happens when you know you've won the title?
es indescriptible, la verdad es que
I can't really put it into words.
hemos ganado el trofeo más importante de la historia del fútbol. Esta
We've won the
décima, yo
most,
creo que
well, it's the biggest,
algo
most important
irrepetible,
title in
que
club football.
es algo muy esperado por todos los
Something
madridistas
that
durante mucho
Real Madrid fans
tiempo,
around the world
y,
were
bueno, ganarla es un
waiting
orgullo,
a long
sobre
time
todo,
to win, to
lo
see
bueno de
us
esta cosa es poder compartirla con
conquer
tanta
again.
gente, ¿no?
And now to be able to share the success with them
Momentos de tanta felicidad y
is very
compartirla
special.
con la gente que quieres, con tantos
And to be here
madridistas,
surrounded by
con
people you
todos los
love,
que fueron a Lisboa, con
Madridistas, the fans who are with us in Lisbon, the fans here.
Bueno, pues es increíble.
It's incredible.
Muchas gracias. Te dejo que sigas dedicando. Se va Álvaro, se lleva la copa con él.
We're hearing from several players from Real Madrid. We heard from Carlo Ancelotti, we heard from Angel Di Maria, we heard from Pepe, Xabi Alonso. What we all of them are basically saying, it was just such an emotional occasion. Marcelo, when he scored, said he couldn't stop crying.
We saw Casillas crying on his knees as well during the game. You do have that kind of pent-up emotion inside you, all that anxiety that you'd have, all the adrenaline that you have, and when you realise that you've actually won the tournament, you know, not just this year, but the 12 years that they've been